What is up, Maverick Nation? Maverick back here, and today we're talking about, well, my show, The Art of People. And in the spirit of remaining unbiased and fair, today I'm basically it's not going to be like my usual video essays. Today we're just going to talk about my process of making it, my inspirations and things that I used during the making of or before I started this show, and where I see the characters and what things that I think are key that make us us, and what I have in mind when I'm going through either writing the script or editing it or shooting it, because I cover all those bases. I can't stress enough though, if you have not seen episode 6, there will be obviously spoilers in this, because I'm going to go over the entire, not the entire episode, but more or less a big chunk of the episode, and it spoils a lot of big scenes and moments within the episode. So if you haven't seen it, just let you know that the link to the episode is at the end of this video. But if you don't care, you just want to see how we make it, and you want to see this before you watch the episode, then cool, by all means, be my guest. So yeah, let's start. So this first scene here, does any one of you recognize the music? Anyone? Lo and behold, bing bang boom, Deadpool 2, the No Good Deed trailer. I think it's Dildo Stragons. I love that name. I believe it was the Spider-Man Sam Raimi theme, and no, I wouldn't even dare of using that. But the reason I use this is because the way I like to do these shows or anything that I make, as I like to make, this visual storytelling. I like to, it's a weird term, I haven't found out a real term for it yet, or more, a more punchier term for it, but audio storytelling, where basically I tell a story or I reveal a character's persona through music and the use of music. In this case, learning that using Deadpool's, essentially a Deadpool theme, to reintroduce Charlie Gonzalez, to insinuate what the character will be. And if you look at Deadpool and you look at Charlie Gonzalez, I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but my direction of where I want her to go is a lot more in the Deadpool aspect of things. So if you look at this scene.
But, okay, so Batman has all those cool things in the house, right? And he has that butler who's like fucking amazing. And then he has Robin who's like his lover, And I'm all for LGBT rights, so like, I'm with Batman. Yeah, okay, Superman, it's like he has his own powers, right. But the thing is, Batman's voice, right? Yeah, thank you. And so, yeah, right. Well, yeah, but Superman, like, he has those glasses and he's changing, and I don't understand. He seems so lonely.
And I see the stark difference between her and now someone like Red. Now, if you look at the shirt Red is wearing, does that shirt look familiar? Worn by Steve Rogers in Captain America. Now, all these things, whether it's the music or a theme used or a piece of clothing that a character's wearing, I know that we've been conditioned that most of these things are just second nature, and that they're picked because they look nice or they look cool. But I'm really conscious of the fact of telling you things about the characters through the littlest detail, through how their hair is positioned, through how they walk, how they talk, how they look at someone, how they get up out of bed in the morning, what they're wearing, especially what they're wearing. And I believe that telling character can be done in many other ways other than just in dialogue and action scenes. It can also be shown in what they're wearing, and the littlest things, like a human being. If you think of any human being, who they are is more than just what they say. It's the way they walk, it's the way they talk, it's the what they wear. It's a holistic thing. So when I'm making these characters, when I have these characters my mom is shooting, what they're wearing and how they're wearing it as well is a big point. And especially the sound I use when they are present in a scene within the show as well.
Where's your father?
So talking of Red, let's go to Red. Now, this episode really hinges on the dynamic between Red and this kid that's not walking into her life, 123 kid. Now, if we look at Red's character, she has seemingly a much more together life than Charlie has, even though we don't really know much of Charlie as of yet, except for her name is Charlie. But at this point, we see Red Red's dynamic with the kid, my goal was to create this push and pull effect. I call it the push and pull effect, where essentially we know that the overall arc is to have Red achieve this thing for this kid and to get 123 kid to where to her father and to help the kid. But that's the pull, pulling her in closer to helping her, right? That's a pull. Pull is a good thing, push is a bad thing. But then again, if you pull so much and you have Red and 123 kid get it on immediately, one thing that has is, I mean, it. How do I describe this? It's not good and it's not bad. It just is. You know, it's either way. Imagine it. The best analogy I can come up with. Imagine if you're making a cake, right? And you have a certain amount of flour, and after you run out of that flour, you can't buy any more. Imagine your flour is how many episodes you have left. And in fact, we have 3 or 4 episodes left of the season. Episode 7, episode 8, and I can't decide if I want to go to 10 or not. If I want to end at 9, I can't decide, to be honest right now. It's between, but no more than 10. I know that for sure. But the thing is with that, imagine your flour only runs to however long your movie is or however long your season is going to be. And then the flour consists of storytelling beats. One of the storytelling beats here is Red and 123 kid get along and they have a strong relationship together. Now, if I put that and I use that arc and I make it go boom, first episode she meets her, she loves her, and she's the best friend ever, and she's been waiting for her all her life, then yeah, it's used, and it depending on how I structure and how I write it, cool. It's another beat for you guys to get behind, but it's just another piece of story that I can't go back to. It's you know, it's like, you know the term leaving money on the table, like leaving something in your back pocket. Right now I want to leave this in my back pocket, essentially, where I could use it now at any time. I could say, hey, this is the thing that happens that causes Red and the kid to really understand each other and like one another and just get on the same page. Or you could let it grow and let that arc stay unfinished and unturned until, say, season finale time, where then we've had time after time, we've had them go on journeys together, we've had them go on adventures together, we've had them go on multiple conversations and multiple riffs, so then the arc is much more richer. If I was to make them get along right now in this episode, maybe there was a way I could have read it and the actors pulled it off great and it was a great scene and I edited it great and it would be a great a great scene. Yeah, sure, I could have made it look great, but it's like, you know, it's like taking the cake out of the oven early, you know, like the cake would still taste nice, but then, I don't know, would have been like uncooked in the middle, something like that. You want to leave the cake in there just long enough that it tastes good, but not too long enough where people forget about the alcohol entirely and they say, hey, why is this happening? Why is she still being mean to her? So speaking of, sorry, I went on it for a bit long. So speaking of push and pull, so the pull was, okay, fine, I'll agree to take it to your father, whoever the hell you are, knowing that this kid isn't all she says she is. The push is where Red really does treat her as, how do I say this, much, I think, a polite version of a disturbance. She treats her as a burden of sorts, and to be honest, she is. I mean, but the sad part of that is until we see the kid, what is Red really doing? Working out, staying fit, cleaning about the house, and she doesn't really seem to be hanging with anyone, just pretty much on her own. So while now planting that seed that Red is someone that probably needs a lot of connection than she's willing to admit, and this kid is, I wrote a post on my Instagram about because we have our Instagram Mavericks are the people, a post where basically said that in body Red is helping the kid, but in spirit the kid is helping Red, because Red needs people more than she knows, and that is certainly another arc that I have in mind for her as well. But moving on now onto this scene. A lot of you guys enjoyed the scene. Bianca, she's an amazing actress, and what these two did in this scene was great. So this is basically the antagonist and protagonist coming to blow.
What's up, prick? My powers, my rules. You have her, don't you? The police don't have her. And I don't have her. So that means you pricks do.
You think you're taking the kid?
Kid? Is that what she told you? Oh, it hasn't changed a bit. Oh, Red. There's so much you don't know. What if I told you that kid is lying to you? She's a lot more capable than she's letting on. Hell, the only reason
I can't stroll right up to your house and bury all of you is because of her. But the biggest secret, she's not just a random kid, Red. She's my sister. You're lying. Oh, I got your attention, huh? Look, because I like you so very much, I'm gonna do you a favour. I'll take the little shit off your hands, and me and you will never cross paths again. No, sir, we won't. Or we can keep coming back here again and again and again and again and again.
If you look at the way I framed it, we did actually shoot a wide shot and a two shot. Basically, we shot multiple shots, but the reason why I only have the wide shot at the beginning, when you see Red get up and then she can't move because Bianca's using the power on her, and you see this shot is used for basically 85% of the scene, where we're just locked into Bianca's point of view. We can't really see Red. We just cut back every now and then, but you know, a large chunk of the scene is this little tight confined space between Bianca, and I put that there to make the audience member feel how Red felt, because Red couldn't move. Red couldn't, you know, lay a nice smack across the face of this girl as much as she wanted to. And the best way to show that is how I framed the shot and what shot I used. If I put the wide shot out, it would really broaden the scene. It would make it like, it would take you, the audience member, out of the scene and be like, okay, I mean, well, you still be in the scene, but you know what I mean? Like you be in the scene, but not in the scene. So like you're distant away from it. But if I put it, the shot that all you see is Bianca, and you can see Red just by the glimpse of her, but she's out of focus. You really puts you in Red's shoes, and you know how she feels right now. Like this person who's walking about saying whatever they damn, like threatening her, like her life depends on it, and she can't really move, and it just feels just really tight and claustrophobic. And that's why I chose to go with this shot for the entire thing. Also, speaking of what Bianca says, you want your antagonist, like I said in my Logan essay, where this whole video essay started, my Logan essay, the antagonist really has to come across as much stronger and than the protagonists or the protagonists, and that really is the case with Bianca here, where her threats, how do I say this? Her threats hold weight much more than Red, because Red, the thing here with this is put as much pressure on Red and forcing her to change, and Bianca and her Wyatt family, who is the guy you see at the very end. So there's a lot of them compared to just Red. It forces Red to then reevaluate her, the way she sees the world, and what her next step is going to be. And especially with the line she says, hey, for every day that goes by with me not getting this kid, one person's going to die. And that is definitely a scene or a development I'm looking forward to shooting in the next episode. We're going to shoot in the next 2 weeks, I believe, episode 7. But I'm finishing the script this Friday, Saturday. So, yeah, the whole development that, hey, every day that passes, the kid is not given back to me, the kid is not given to me, that day, one person dies. The next day, she's not given back to me. So imagine like a fine on a library book, but except the library book is a kid, and your penalty is a death per day. Now this scene, I actually like this scene because this really puts home the push-pull effect. Now if you see the lines we used, I'm going to mark out the lines for you guys so you can watch.
Kid, a sec. Okay, story time. There once was a show called Recess.
What was it about?
Well, it was about a group of teenagers, and they used to do things together, you know? Some good things and some bad things. But they made enemies, and the enemies wanted to hurt them or come after the people that they cared about.
These kids, were they friends?
No, not at first. Over time. But, my point is...
They stopped them, right?
What?
The kids, they stopped the bad people from hurting the ones they cared about, right?
Look, once we find your dad, I'm out. all right? You go off with him and I'll go and do stuff. Yeah, do stuff.
Moments like this, moments like them sitting down just talking about, you know, a classic TV show that was on when Red was a kid and before this kid was even here. Moments like this make that arc inevitably come in full circle so much richer. So my goal is to extend that for as much as I can. Ideally season finale time, we all know that. So yeah, that was the method here. And especially when you see when a kid says this.
Look, once we find your dad, I'm out, all right? You go off with him and I'll go and do stuff. Yeah, do stuff.
Now you look at that smile, and now you look at this. And I kudos to Melanie and Harriet, who is Melanie plays 123 Kid and Harriet plays Red, and these girls are amazing. And yeah, that is a very quick video essay on my show The Are People, episode 6. And I'm looking to get in minimum 2 guys into the team in the next episode. So next episode we are gonna be moving the story really forward, and I think I'll give it too much away of telling you the guy thing, but yeah, I aim to make this a show that people say, okay, cool, it's a great show that just happens to have a female lead in lead of the team, because it's not going to be an all-girl team. There are going to be guys coming in, because I just spoiled that. But yeah, but my idea is to not have it, hey, it's a great female-led show, it's a female-led show, and it's good, you know. My goal is to have it's a really great show. Oh yeah, and there's a girl who's the leader of the team. You know, like you forget that, because as you've seen in these films, Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's not they're great male lead films. No, they're great films. Or no, this is, sorry, was I saying film? Crap. To make this a good show, but oh yeah, damn, but there's a female lead in the show. She's the lead of the team. You know, that's my goal. That's my goal, because it's show don't tell. And there's a reason why I've never like hinted or made a strong point of how, oh, girls or feminism, there's not all that kind of stuff. Not because there's anything wrong with that, but because I feel like it'd be demeaning. Because, you know, when we see Deadpool, when we see Iron Man, we don't say, hey, it's a male lead film and that kind of stuff. You know, we don't pay attention to it. And by paying attention to it, you make it of less value. For me to say, oh, it's a female web series, and we're like, oh, okay, but then if it was male in charge, you wouldn't say it was a male web series, you just say it's a web series. So it's a web series that just happens to have a female in lead. And I think that's where the best female protagonists were created. Ripley from Aliens, it wasn't just like, oh, it's a great female movie. No, it's a great movie that has a female lead, you know. And that's my main goal with this. If I can create a show here for you guys that you have a great group of kids who mix boys and girls, and it's led by a girl, and people hardly bring up that fact, then I've done my job right on some point. There's a lot of things in this episode that I wanted to fix. The action scene with Red and Ray in the sun, I was pressed for time for that, so I feel extremely terrible, because I know I could have done better on that scene. There's a lot of things I want to improve. I'm really hard on myself, if you couldn't tell already. There's a lot of things in this episode that I wanted to improve, and I wanted to have about 2 more months working on. But I have a certain timeline to get these things out, because I have a big surprise for all of you, including the cast. So yeah, if you've seen the episode and you're watching this, thank you. If you haven't seen the episode, hopefully you may want to check it out. Even if not, cool, thank you for checking out this video. And yeah, I guess maybe now you guys can see why I say, hey, it's a show of like The Fugitive meets Recess, because The Fugitive sense with this kid, and kind of spoiling the next episode as well, but there are going to be a lot more things pursuing Red and the kid in the next episode. So the fugitive aspect will really kick in. Also a bit Leon the Professional, and Recess with the kids aspect, and Misfits as well, because that was the most recent adaptation of a British show that consisted of, you know, kids of today in the 21st century living in London. And I think that's what I want to achieve, and that's what I want to achieve with this show, of course. But yeah, now I guess maybe you guys can see why I say adolescent teens, because none of these teens, linking onto the heroism, none of these teens are stand-up citizens, none of them. And I think that's real, because teens, they're still figuring it out. And Red, which I can't wait to get into and show you guys, there was a lot of stuff that she is certainly guilty for. Charlie even more. So yeah, it's exciting times. And hey, for all you guys who've checked it out and left a like and left a comment, I cannot thank you enough. That means so much to me, and I know I thank you so much. Well, get used to it. I'm going to thank you all the time, because literally this show, I probably lost years of my life on this thing. I mean, damn, if you guys could see the times where I'm just up at like 3, 4 in the morning just writing scripts, or a scheduling goes to hell and I have to write 4 or 5 versions of the same script just because the scheduling is going to hell. And I've probably lost years of my life on this script and on this show. But the fact that the whole subscriber thing happened, when I got like 300 subscribers in the span of 4 days, and then now people actually commenting and watching the show and critiquing, yes, saying they don't like the cleavage line. Sorry, Schwagins. But hey, I love that. I love that there's a conversation, and I want to know, just like I said on Justice League trailer, criticism I have all the time for it, because if you don't tell me what you don't like, I can't improve it. I'm not psychic. And yeah, I'm just internally grateful for all of you that stand by me. And like I said, if I can make this show be the brightness in someone's dark day, then I swear, I don't care if we ever win an award, I don't care if we ever get on the TV, I don't really care. But if we impact someone who's going through something, and just by, I don't know, watching Charlie dance in the tunnel, watching Red say that line with her bat, or watching the kid, or watching this conversation, I don't know what it is from the show, even if it's just the damn theme. Because yeah, one thing before I go, the music is a big part. With the Bee Gees, the More Than a Woman, and the theme by Philip Olajaka. That composer is a great guy. I'm gonna link his channel as well at the end of this video. Philip, check him out. He's a great composer, up and coming composer. I'm gonna do a video essay on music, which I'll talk about this more. But my point is to wrap up. Thank you so much if you watched the show, and thank you for just watching this video, because it means so much to me. And I swear, don't worry guys, I know you say I need more subscribers, we're gonna get there. People like you commenting, we're gonna get there. I'm already almost halfway through 800, and soon before we know it, we'll blink, I'll be at 900, and boom, we'll be counting down till we hit that 1,000. And I swear, I'm gonna cry tears of joy. And I promised it, I told you guys, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna shoot a video where I privately message 1,000 of my subscribers. That's gonna be a long ass video, but I'm gonna do it just to show, just to get it across how much it means to me. So yeah. So as always, I am Maverick. You're awesome. Remember to fight monsters, get paid, repeat, and that we are Maverick Studios. Till next time. Come together.
Shall we?